So not too long ago, I spoke extensively about how that M2 is not the best car for the road. It's too fast, it's too powerful, it's too big, it doesn't have good steering feel. There's a number of issues. Well, I'm out in the Peak District today with my good friend Phil, Links, and he's brought an ND2 MX-5, which apart from the newest ND3 with the updated steering rack and whatever else, should be the ultimate MX-5. And we're going to take it out on a drive, we're going to go for a POV, we're going to take it on some of these beautiful roads. But before we do, I just think it's relevant to talk a little bit about what the MX-5 is, what it means, have a little walk around the car, and then we'll take it out for a drive. This is a really tricky one because one of the big reasons I wanted to drive this car was because the M2 is going in the next month or so, and its replacement is highly likely to be an MX-5. We mentioned it in the other video. I'm looking at NC generation MX-5s. I'll flash up a photo. Because they have hydraulic steering. If I had to have one number one complaint with the M2, it's the steering, right? It's dead. It doesn't communicate, it doesn't talk, it doesn't do anything. I drove a Lotus Elise not that long ago. You can click the link up here and watch that video. And that car ruined me for all cars in future, because it communicated with you. When you turned, it told you information, and it just felt so good. And what I'm chasing is that feeling for a large guy like myself in a car that I can actually fit in. Hence MX-5s. What does the MX-5 mean to people? Well, MX-5s are fairly cheap. That resolves the whole running cost issue. They have cheap consumables, they have fairly small tires, they have inexpensive brakes. This bloody thing, you'll see this in the POV, but this bloody thing's getting 40 mpg. I'm not getting 40 mpg in that thing. And that's with Phil's exuberant driving style. I think when I drove the car, it went from 40 to like 41 and a half because I drive like Miss Daisy, apparently. Okay, so that's the financial aspect sorted, right? Great. What's the other thing? Well, this is the most important aspect that I want you guys to understand about MX-5. We have to respect the fuck out of these people here, Mazda, because they made a baby sports car and they gave you, between the rear wheels, a limited slip differential. You can buy powerful rear-wheel drive cars in today's world and not get a limited slip diff. Why is a limited slip diff important? It lets you go sideways. Who wants to go sideways? Enthusiasts, people that enjoy driving. We want to have a bit of fun. We want the car to have the capability to hurt us. We want to know that if we turn the traction off and we are clumsy with our inputs, the car will swap ends and kill us. And it's that driving dynamic between you and the car, just dancing on the edge and knowing that it could kill you, but you're making sure it doesn't, that is driving enjoyment. That is where it comes from. And you need a limited slip diff for that. So we have to respect Mazda for giving us one, because other manufacturers don't. I guess we're getting into the walk around on the car now. But you've got Brembo brakes on this model. Now, this is because it's an Almora Edition MX-5, which is why you've got this lovely paint with the contrasting interior, which we will talk about. You've also got the BBS wheels, which are lovely, and you've got Brembo brakes. Just to break the fourth wall here, I'm actually recording this at the end of the driving segment, so I know for a fact that those brakes feel great. The rear end of this car is lovely as well. I learnt today, I've always wondered why these taillights are quite so set in. You know, it makes the car look a bit, I don't know, puckered. Well, I was told and informed that if you look at it from this angle, it's got a haunch to the rear arch, which looks really cool and muscular, and you can see it in the rearview mirror. It looks great. Well, if those rear lights were moved further out, it would be a square rear end. You wouldn't have this lovely haunch right here, which is the reason that these lights are here rather than here. I thought that was a cool little design cue, you know? It's a good looking car. Twin exhaust because it's the 2 litre. Actually, the 1.5, so this is the beauty of Mazda, right? And I have so much love for this brand. Mazda originally wanted this to have a 1.5 that revved to almost 8,000 RPM and had literally no power, because it would be even more fun to drive. You can still buy those cars, they're brilliant. I kind of want one. But Americans and Europeans said, 1.5, nobody's going to buy them, we need the 2 litre. Then they made the ND2 with the updated 2 litre, whole story. Let's have a look at the interior. This Almora Edition is absolutely lovely. These seats are really, really nice. I've put a dent in it because I'm a fat boy, but the interior is really nice. It's just a nice thing. And you can look down into it because it doesn't have a roof. Let's have a sit. I have to give props to Mazda as well, because when you close the door, it actually makes a good noise, which is not normal in like convertible, small, lightweight cars like this. That sounds solid. It's impressive, but it's a nice place to sit, and it doesn't have a roof. So when you're driving, you get the wind in just the tips of your hair. You can see around. If you're in the woods, you can see the woods. If you're by a lake, you can see the lake. It gives an extra dimension to the car. Also, I love this. Look at this. There's a little cutout. They do this on the NC as well. There's a little cutout for where the sun visors go. Not a lot of other manufacturers do that. If you notice, in almost any other car and almost any other convertible, the sun visors just sit on top of the roof thing. I've always thought that's a nice little attention to detail thing. How easy is it to put up the roof? This is the second time I'm doing this, so I'm not skilled at this. You pull this thing, you drag this thing forward, and then you just put the windows up. It actually becomes like a cocooned, quiet vehicle. It's like a decent car now. Very cool. There's also something to be said about the gauges. So Mazda do this correctly. I don't know who was the first to do this. It was probably some racing car, but you see it often on Porsches. The tachometer is front and center. What that tells you is that the revs are more important than what speed you're going, which is beautiful. Everyone's chasing more power, faster, go, go, go. Mazda have offset the bloody speedometer because it's not important. I don't actually care if I'm going 100 miles an hour. What I care about is feeling like I'm going 100 miles an hour, and that can happen at 40 to 60. Right then, enough talking about the car. How about we go out and drive it? Do you know what's really nice for this type of town driving? It's very small. One of the big complaints that I had with my M2, it's just so big. Yeah. You can't fit it through gaps. You can't, you know, this stuff is stressful. You've got the haunch there and the haunch there really let you place the car really well. Like, you know exactly where you are. Like, I'm pretty sure that's bang on the line. It is. I know I'm going to fit. So look, I just fit. I did that on purpose to fit between the white line and the cars. And you just can because it's small. It's so nice. My M2 takes up so much road. Right then, let's have a little bit of a drive then. ND2 MX-5. Oh, do you know what? When you start leaning on it a little bit more, the steering does wake up. It's electronic steering here. And like I talked about in the introduction, the real reason I wanted to drive this car is because I'm looking at either a Mark III NC MX-5 or an Abarth 124. And the big difference between those two cars is the steering. NC has hydraulic steering. The Abarth is basically the same car as this and has electronic steering. But this is not bad. You know what? There's a little bit of weight to it when you load it up. My M2 does not load up whatsoever. It's dead. It doesn't care. You could go around these corners at 70, 80 miles an hour and it still wouldn't care. Like, it's not slow. And I'm sure as you get towards the top of the rev band, you get even more of that. It's even more fun. I came up this exact road in my M2 maybe half an hour ago, and it just felt like driving to work. It wasn't fun. It didn't. There's so many things that combine into it. The fact that the car's so small means you can kind of pick your way through your lane like a racetrack. You can start at the outside and you can move into the inside. Like, you've got all of this is space. You've got so much room on the road to pick your way through the corner. And it means you have more to do. It's more enjoyable. Now, this is the coolest part of the MX-5.
Yep. There you go.
This is so... You hear the engine more. She's not slow. It drives really well. It's so fun. The fact that it's small, I think, really makes a massive difference to how fun it is to drive. The fact that you pick your way through the corner. In the M2, you just follow the lane. In this, I move out to the outside, I cut across to the inside, and I just feel like I'm driving more. Look at this, is just gorgeous. Cars that make you happy are good cars. More people should own this stuff, and more people should not be idiots like me and just think that power is cool, or you think that you need the most powerful car to have fun. You don't. I've got just under 200 horsepower in here, and I turn the corner and the car leans to the outside, but it's interactive. It's doing stuff, it's talking to me. I actually really like this car. It's good. And don't ever get it twisted that it's an MX-5 and it's a whatever derogatory term you want to call it. This is a sports car. This is a good sports car. I really like the softness. Do you know what it is? It's a road car, whereas an M2 is not. Whereas a lot of cars these days that call themselves sports cars are not. They're not made for the road, they're not designed for the road, they don't want to be on the road. They want to be on the Autobahn, and they want to be on tracks. MX-5 wants to be right here. So fun. So fun. My name's Mick, I drive cars. Peace.